My guest today is Julia Stege, and she is called the magical marketer because she helps change makers clarify and express their purpose through their marketing. Her magical realm of talent is branding and creating inspired websites for clients who are as serious about attracting their soul tribe online as they are about changing the world. Since 1997, hundreds of clients united in their desire to show up authentically in their heart centered marketing and have showcased what makes them special and attractive websites that serve as magnets that attract leads, clients, and difference making opportunities. She has helped such people as celebrity changemaker Ayan Van Zandt, spiritual marketing guru Susan Falter, passionate dream activist Rich German, and aspiring magical marketers worldwide. And they have engaged her to transform their brands, websites, and messages from bright ideas to powerful catalysts that affect massive impact and also translate to income. She is the author of Branding from the Heart: How to Share Your Purpose Through Marketing That Attracts Your Tribe and Inspires a Revolution. Wow, fantastic, Julia. I am so excited that you are here today. And
Thanks,
I know
Gail.
you have a great deal of information to share with our audience. And
I sure I do. I'll try to keep it simple, though. I know people don't generally love marketing as a rule. So,
well, this is a show for women over 50. And so to me, we're showing women who they can become and what they can create when they're over 50. And I think there's a lot of branding involved when you're over 50. I mean, that's why I branded myself as the SOB, the spunky old broad. So tell us your story and how you became the magical marketer. And I must tell you, I have seen Julia in a variety of places, and she has the most interesting combination of things that she wears. And she appears on stage in hats that are, wizardry and are animal-like and just things. So tell us your story, Julia.
I try to keep it light. Okay, put it that way. Um, well, let's see if I can put it in a nutshell. I started, I went to college for graphic design and went to Manhattan. That's what we did. And that was sort of that was the expected path. And you would work on Madison Avenue and you would rise up in the marketing world. But long story short, that didn't work for me in a sense, because I noticed that things that I cared deeply about, that wasn't what people cared about on Madison Avenue, including my friends who started changing. So from what we were like in college to what they became like, I wasn't happy. And I'll tell you, it came down to this. It was about brainwashing, hyping, and lying to people.
Well, you know something, I assume when you get to Madison Avenue, I mean, they're interested in the bottom line, the dollar, and these people probably had to change a great deal to play the role that they had to play to progress
They did change a great deal. It was really a heartbreak for me, actually. And so I left Manhattan at the young age of 25 and went west to Illinois to live in a little town called DeKalb, where there was a university, Northern Illinois University, because my best friend from college was there going to law school. And so I found my way into a group of rebels, student activists and philosophers and musicians and artists, all combined. It was really quite fascinating. And what I learned was, well, it's not that marketing is bad per se. It's you need to market what you believe in. That's what I decided. People needed my help, but I could decide that I would only work with people I was aligned with, that I believed in, and not promote things that I was against. Like like the stuff we did back in banks and things like that. So I learned through working with activists, actually, people who have a movement, right, to some kind of a cause to share. And I learned how to help them not only by designing pretty flyers, which I did quite a lot of, but also coming up with the verbiage that would inspire isolated people of like mind to come out of isolation and connect with us. And
And you know,
so
now there's a lot of people doing movements, and there's a lot of people doing change and standing up for certain causes and so forth.
that's
But back
right.
then, it wasn't happening.
It wasn't happening as much, no. Well, we did it. And so what I learned over a period of years, and I don't need to get into all the details, I did start my own business. I sold T-shirts on tour at Grateful Dead concerts for about 5 years. So I learned how to do sales. I learned how to do what we now would call brand messaging. I had been taught at college how to do brand design. And when a friend of mine started doing website design in around 97 and asked me to design the websites for him, that's how I started getting into websites. And that was around the time where I really started studying online marketing. So it was about 20 years ago. And I automatically came up with my own approach to it, which was very much in alignment with the law of attraction. And the idea with law of attraction, simply stated, is like attracts like.
That's true.
So you want to attract people who are like you. And if you want to attract people who are like you want them to recognize you when they see you, and that requires authenticity. So from the very start, authenticity was one of the key elements of the brands and websites that I was creating for people.
But how did you find those people, Julia? I mean, back then when you started, this was not a popular subject. And even though, you talk about the law of attraction and like equals like, it certainly was not something that was out there at that time. So how did people find you, and how did you find them?
Well, I used online, the online, you wouldn't call them social networks. Like I used Craigslist, for instance, which I don't know that I would necessarily use now. But I put up ads on Craigslist. Now my thought was, if I put up ads on Craigslist, maybe somebody will find me at the grocery store. I mean, I really thought of it metaphysically. If I put my attraction plan online, isn't that going to make it more powerful? And then I will magically attract the right people, which I always did. But after a little while, I actually started attracting people directly from the Craigslist.
That's interesting, because you would never think of there. And of course, I think that list has changed a lot in the
It's
last.
changed. It's much more about selling your old desk and stuff like that now.
Right, exactly.
But I attracted some pretty high-end clients through that, by the way. And you can attract high-end clients through social networks by networking online, right? You network via the social networks. What I had that was a benefit that other people didn't have was I had a website. And not only that, I had examples of my work online. And so early on, nobody did websites who was any good at design.
True. That's so true.
It's still true now. Designers tend not to like website design as a medium because it's not something you can easily control. Graphic designers like things that are static, like a poster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll say graphic designers don't necessarily know what sells, because they want a beautiful, beautiful website, but that may not be what sells their products or services.
Well, my view as a website person, I mean, the reason that I am still a website person and not a social networking trainer is because all businesses need a website. And it's a platform that, by and large, you can control.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But you talk about something called soul tribes. You say you help people attract their soul tribe online. What is a soul tribe? What are you saying about that? I mean, what does that mean to people?
Well, what I mean by it is the people that we're aligned with on the soul level, i.e., we're on the same soul path. Those are, I think, your ideal clients. And they're people that are drawn in by your authentic self because you are so aligned. It is a different approach to marketing than most people use, and it's appropriate for any kind of marketing, both inside and outside of business. As I said, I started doing this kind of stuff back when we were just doing marketing for movement. We weren't trying to make money.
Mm-hmm.
We were trying to spread ideas. I still hold that if you spread your ideas, you will attract the right people. And then there's another thing called sales, and I don't teach that.
Well, it's interesting though because if you attract your soul tribe from what you're saying, and I have the right website, and I have the things on that website that my soul tribe is interested in, then I am going to make sales or
Well,
something
you have to
wrong.
ask for the sale, just like as a reminder to your audience if they're trying to do this. A lot of people are a little bit adverse to asking for a sale, and that basically you just need to be able to connect with them and then say, would you like to hear how I can help you? And
Well,
then
that's
have a
true.
really good offer.
That's true. I mean, you have to let people know what you're about and then how to utilize your services. And you have to, we call it a call to action. You have to ask them to do something. And unfortunately, you think people are mind readers, but they're not. They have to be programmed what to do. This is the first step you take, and the second step you take, and the
You
third
actually
step
have
you
to
take.
tell them. Yeah,
That's
you cannot be assuming. That's
right.
right. Now,
But
my piece of it is communicating who you are so clearly and precisely online that your people that are a match are irresistibly drawn to you. What I notice is that the people that contact me, they really like me already.
Okay, so your website is attracting them to you, and the other things that you're putting out there is also showing them who you are as a person, and basically they are part of your soul tribe.
That's right. If they resonate with me and they get to the point where, for instance, a woman the other day said, I read your book, which is the freebie I gave away in a giveaway. I came to your webinar. Okay, so that was another thing that I gave away as part of the giveaway. And then she applied for a session with me and got a session with me. So already this person is highly qualified.
Correct.
Whereas there's other people, many more probably, that I don't know about who came on, said, this is not for me, and left me alone.
I love that. Yeah.
And
So
in
you didn't have
fact,
to go through
that
that.
it winds up then that I don't talk to a lot of people that I'm not really aligned with who love me. Most of the time, I'm talking to people that are just like, oh, I've been reading your thought, I love it, And one of the pieces that I learned from, the activist days and up till now, which is so many years I don't want to count, is that if you're willing to say things other people just aren't willing to say, then you will stand out. Branding is about standing out, but what are you standing out about?
Correct. Exactly. You want to make sure it's the right message. And that brings me to the point that you say there are 3 reasons why marketing the normal way is actually harmful to heart-based businesses. So
Yeah.
what are those reasons?
Well, I started learning this in Manhattan. It was about brainwashing, hyping, and lying to people. Well, I noticed that a lot of people, and I'm not naming names and I don't want to ruin anyone's career or have a fight with anyone, but a lot of my friends, let's put it that way, use these techniques that they taught in corporate. So they are a little hypey and sometimes a little lie-y. I mean, if you say, oh, I'll help you make 6 figures, but you really only helped 5% of your clientele reach 6 figures. I'm sorry, but that's not really true.
That's right.
People are willing to say things that aren't true in order to get clients. And they advise others do the same. And then your high vibration, authenticity type of healer who is transforming the world here's this advice, possibly spent thousands of dollars to get this advice, and then find they're unable to market at all. Mm-hmm. So the 3 reasons are: 1, if you're trying to follow what these people are telling you and it feels off to you, it will feel off to your high level peeps. So the people that you really want to attract because they're progressive and changing the world and they're open to your healing modality and they're open to psychic or intuitive, wisdom or shamanism or something, that they're high level types. They're not easily lied to, right? None of that stuff is going to work with them.
That's right.
So
it goes back to really knowing what people call the avatar, who your ideal client is.
If you know yourself to be that kind of person, that's who you're attracting.
Right.
If you're like a psychic tree fairy, you're not going to attract others that are not in alignment with that. You might as well be your psychicist, tree fairyist self, instead of trying to act all professional. It doesn't work at all, okay? The second thing is if you do anything kind of hypey or lie-y, that's not going to work either. That's the first one, okay? Hypey, lie-y, all that kind of stuff. The other thing is if you are, trying to do something that's too strategic. Like, I know this will make money, but it doesn't really come from your heart. Ultimately, it won't satisfy your soul, and you won't be able to sustainably do it.
Yeah, it's interesting because, we talk about truth in advertising, and yet we know there's a lot of things that are not true in advertising. And it's a lot of it is how you phrase it and the examples that you give. So, and it's I am sure there's a conflict there for people that say, I really want to do the right thing and I really don't want to lie to people and I don't want to hype it up, but I know that other people who are doing similar kinds of things do this. It's a tussle in people's minds. And
it's a total tussle. And you know what they end up doing? And this is the 3rd reason that it's sabotaging your business to do marketing the normal way. You end up either 1, not doing it, or 2, kind of doing it half-baked, but don't really promote it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're gonna just do it in this really boring way.
Mm-hmm.
Which is describe your modalities. It's sort of the default thing. You're going to describe exactly what you do day in and day out, which is boring.
Well, that's
true. I hold my arms above you. It's called Reiki, or if I told people the details of what I do when I'm creating a website, I would get tears of boredom. The person would be doing whatever they could to get away. Not only that, I'd be making them angry probably.
But if marketing the normal way doesn't work, what do you feel is a good alternative if you are a heart-based entrepreneur?
I say start with this. And this is what I always did before I was at all sophisticated. So 20 years ago, when nobody had anything, this is what I said. And I think this is a good place to start still. That is, be your authentic self, first of all. Anything that you think is important to share, that it's not about the modality, but it's about how you help people, and it's from the heart, the results that you produce, that's going to be better than either trying to hype people or trying to over describe. So you want to engage your tribe with a letter from your heart. You know, dear tribe, are you feeling this way? Because I understand because of my experiences, and I have a solution. And that solution is this freebie, and you can opt into this freebie. You know, it's really straightforward. It's not like lying. Like if you have had sleepless nights, now never have another sleepless night if you listen to this meditation, you know. Or like you're not going to lie. Like you're going to say, I know how to help you with this problem because I've helped so many people with it. So if you have this problem, it can be that simple. You can start there. Do you have this problem? I totally relate, and I figured out how to solve it. Here's my freebie that helps you start solving it for free. And if you want to talk to me, let's talk.
Well, and that reminds me, you know, Julia has a book that she has for you for free, and it's called brandingfromtheheartbook.com. And the way you get it is you go to http://www.brandingfromtheheartbook.com. So you can get her book there and get an idea of what she calls the magical steps revealed to discovering the soul tribe you're meant to serve and knowing what to say that captures their heart and inspires them to connect with you so that you may transform the world. So there's a lot there to think about.
That's right. And thank you for reminding us about that. And here's what I want to say, just in general, because I know not everyone on your, listening is the same in the same place or doing the same thing. But what I want to say is anything that you want in your life is available through the people you attract. You want to do one thing is identify who you want to attract and why. And what the results are you really want to see. And not think about it in terms of it's logical or anything like that. It's what you want. And if you can attract anything you want and you can, this is what you want. And from there, you're going to create a conversation that you're having with your tribe. So no matter what you're doing, if you're building a business, if you're building an organization, if you're trying to get people to go to the beach to clean it up, if you are starting a dog rescue, if you're trying to just do something that requires some people, and you need to attract your people, the steps in this book will help you. And you'll attract the people that you like, that you'll want to be connected with.
Well, hold on, folks. We're going to have to stop part one here. We're going to be back with Julia in just a few minutes. Hang with us. We'll be right back.